Hello there and welcome to Mad Dog Minis. In this video I'm going to be making a hybrid Space Marine squad from Intercessors and Tactical Marines. I want to do this because I'm not happy with the size differential between the two model types. I love the concept of Tactical Marines, the idea of heavy weapons, more options, assault weapons, sergeant options, all the rest of it, but I don't like how they look. They look goofy to me. They don't look big enough in comparison to regular human infantry at this scale. Cadians look about the same size to me as regular Tactical Marines, and that just doesn't say superhuman to me. So we're going to sort that out now. And what I'm going to do is use the legs and the torso from the Intercessors to give it the extra height and the extra, I guess, proportions that are needed here, and I'm going to use the arms and the helmets, backpacks and pauldrons from the Tactical Marines. So first of all, the Intercessor parts go together with no issues at all, of course, because we're not going outside the limitations of the kit. When the first arm goes on, we start to encounter some problems because this is a tactical arm, and we can see here that we have to set it forward in order to give clearance around the torso because these guys are bigger. See there, we need that clearance for the weapon to go on there. Do a little bit of a dry fit there and just ensure that that can come around. So don't worry if you have to set these arms forward a lot, the pauldrons will cover it up. And we look at the supporting arm in this image here, you can see it's a long way forwards. But remember what I said, the pauldrons are extremely forgiving. This will get covered up and it will look fine. There we are, pauldrons go on. Already starting to look better. The pauldrons really, carry the proportions well. Helmet goes on. These don't fit fantastically in the socket, but they do fine. The Mark 7 helmets. We need those to make them Tactical Marines, I think. Tactical backpack goes on. A little bit smaller than the Intercessor backpack, but that's fine. And we then move on to the missile launcher, which is a very important miniature because the idea of a heavy weapon is very central to the idea of the tactical squad, I think. The second arm is a bit tricky. We have to set that forward a long way in order to make that work. But once again, it will get covered up. That looks terrible at the moment, but that actually is fine when the pauldrons go on later. Yeah, this was the problem at the back here with the vent and the back end of the missile launcher. It's probably because the backpack ended up in a different place in relation to the missile launcher, but it wasn't a biggie, just a little bit of fiddling around and force gluing, and that kind of sorted that out, really. Onto the flamer, chose all the classic options here. Flamer, pretty much like the first Marine, low slung pose with the flamer, and same principle, setting the arms forward. We then go to a higher pose with the bolter, a pointing pose, and that's the trickier one. We have to really set the arms forward a long way in order to make that work to clear the gorget on the Primaris armour. So that was the trickiest one by far. But it did come out fairly well in the end, and yeah, very, very good. Okay, so I've finished the first 5 Tactical Marine hybrids, and here they are. I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison between an Intercessor first, so you can see that, hopefully you'll agree that actually these guys look pretty good. They're not too goofy. So let's bring in the Intercessor. Okay, so here we go. And let's now compare, let's say to this guy, he's fairly similar. So pay attention to the arms, because that's really what should look goofy here. And I just don't know. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. So if you look at the proportions of the arms here, the forearms, the elbows, actually that looks okay, to me anyway. I mean, I'm sure there are subtle differences, but they don't bother me. And of course, what you're getting the Primaris height by doing this, which is kind of the main reason I want to do it. But you are getting rid of some of the goofy leg and abdomen proportions as well. So for me, it's a win-win. It is quite expensive, so obviously you've got to buy 2 boxes to do this. If you're anything like me and you've been around the hobby for a while, the chances are you'll have quite a lot of spare Tactical Marine bits anyway, so you may not actually have to buy a box of Tactical Marines to do a squad of these. You might have enough heads and arms left over, as I said, if you've been around it a while. But if not, yeah, you will have to buy a couple of boxes, a Primaris box and a Tactical Marine box. But I'm okay with that, not everyone will be, but I mean there's always 3D printing as well. Not my bag at all. I don't mind the occasional head swap and things like that, but I love chopping and changing around with these guys, and I just sticking it into a 3D printer and printing out just isn't my idea of fun really, but I can understand it's more cost effective. So there you go, that's always an option. Yeah, I think they look good. I think they look entirely plausible. I stuck with obviously the Mark 7 helmet. That kind of helps it kind of, you know, I think keep a little bit of homage to the original. Yeah, really happy. Obviously haven't tidied these up. I've got lots of bits to clip off and file down, but you get the idea. Let's look at the missile launcher. Yeah, really good. That turned out fine, and I am going to probably have a go with other heavy weapons as well. But there you go, really important addition to the tactical squad. Kind of makes it what it is. Flamer, okay. And you probably really haven't had a good look at the sergeant yet, have you? Because I haven't really covered that in the other footage. There we are. I haven't gone for anything too adventurous there, but yeah, I think they look really good. I just don't think the arms look out of place. I did mention briefly that the heads don't fit into the sockets beautifully here because they aren't designed for it, but they will go, and they will, you know, there is contact there, but you won't have quite as much freedom because the Mark 7 helmet is more bulky around the bottom end. You've got the whole kind of Darth Vader grill thing going on there. So yeah, you may be a bit limited with how you place the head in the socket. So just keep an eye open for that. But I hope a lot of you guys will agree that it's not too bad at all. And for, again, what is very low effort. I'm all about low effort and okay results. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, drop me a comment, let me know what you think. I got more of this kind of stuff coming. You've probably gathered from the theme of a lot of my videos that I really want to Primarisize, if you will, my my Marines. Now, not everyone is going to be going down that road, obviously. There's a lot of hate out there for Primaris, but for me, it kind of amounted to, rather than scale creep, kind of scale correction, especially when you compare them. I mean, this is a very old guardsman with a bit of a bent gun, because that's what you get with metal. But if we compare that, we see, look, I mean, he looks gigantic. This guy looks gigantic in comparison. That's what it should be. You don't want Marines the same size as Cadians, you know. It's, for me, the whole thing is a correction and long overdue. Now that's going to cause some controversy, I'm sure, so keep it all polite, guys. No need to get too aerated about it. We're all allowed to like different stuff, but yeah, drop me a comment, like, share, subscribe, helps the channel to grow, and I really do appreciate all your support. So catch you in a future video, guys. Take care.